Once upon a time, in a quiet suburb of New York, a shy, introverted boy sat in front of a glowing computer screen. While other kids played video games, he was building them. He wasn't trying to be famous. He wasn't even trying to be rich. He just wanted to connect people. But little did he know, the path he was walking would lead him to create one of the most powerful companies in human history. A social revolution, a billion users, and a controversy that would shake the foundations of democracy itself. This is not just the story of a tech genius. This is the story of Mark Zuckerberg. His rise, his fall, and his extraordinary fight for redemption. Childhood. Mark Elliott Zuckerberg was born on May 14, 1984, in White Plains, New York. The second of 4 siblings, he grew up in a supportive, intellectually stimulating household. His father was a dentist. His mother, a psychiatrist. It was a home full of books, computers, and big ideas. By the age of 12, Mark had already created a messaging program for his family. He called it ZuckNet. At school, teachers were stunned by his intellect. He excelled in math, physics, and computer science. But he was also a quiet, reserved kid, often lost in thought. He didn't crave attention. He just wanted to build. And build, he did. By high school, Mark was already designing games and software that caught the attention of major tech companies. Microsoft tried to recruit him. So did AOL. But Mark had bigger plans. He chose Harvard University. Not for prestige, but for potential. The people. The ideas. The future he imagined. The big turning point. It was a cold night in his Harvard dorm room. Mark, now a sophomore, was frustrated with how disconnected the campus felt. He believed students should have a way to connect. To share who they were. To be seen. So he built a simple platform. Just a college project. He called it the Facebook. Within hours of launch, the site exploded. Dorm rooms across campus were buzzing. Everyone was signing up. But with success came scrutiny. And soon, controversy. 3 upperclassmen, the Winklevoss twins and Divya Narendra, accused Mark of stealing their idea. They had hired him to work on their own social network. Now they claimed he took their concept. It was Mark's first taste of the dark side of innovation. Accusations. Legal threats. Betrayal. But he didn't stop. He dropped out of Harvard. Moved to Palo Alto. And with a few close friends, including Dustin Moskovitz and Eduardo Saverin, he transformed the Facebook into a growing empire. By the age of 23, Mark Zuckerberg had become the youngest self-made billionaire in history. Struggles and failures. But success is never free. And power always has a price. As Facebook grew, so did the scrutiny. There were data privacy scandals. Lawsuits. Infamous betrayals. He was sued by his own co-founder, Eduardo Saverin. The same friend who helped start it all. Then came the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Data from millions of users had been harvested without consent. And used to manipulate elections. The world turned against Zuckerberg. He was dragged before Congress. Grilled by journalists. Condemned by activists. Once hailed as a visionary, he was now called a villain. A threat to democracy. Behind the scenes, Mark was changing. The hoodie-wearing coder became a cautious, methodical CEO. He spent countless hours refining policies, hiring ethicists, investing in AI safety. But the damage was done. And the question remained. Had he lost his way? Comeback. Mark didn't run. He didn't hide. He faced the fire. Owned up to his mistakes. And began a painful process of rebuilding. He shifted the company's vision. Privacy became a priority. Encryption was embraced. And then, he took a bigger leap. He announced the future of Facebook. was no longer just a social network. It was the metaverse. Virtual reality. Augmented reality. A new digital frontier. People mocked him. Stocks fell. Analysts called it a fantasy. But Mark held firm. Because underneath the criticism, he still believed in connection. He still believed in building. And slowly, the world began to see his vision. New technologies emerged. Virtual workspaces. Digital communities. Zuckerberg was no longer just the founder of Facebook. He was the architect of tomorrow. Legacy. Many think they know Mark Zuckerberg. But few understand the quiet resolve beneath the surface. He's learned Mandarin to connect with his wife's family. He's donated billions to global health and education. He's created the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative to cure disease. He reads 2 books a month. He challenges himself yearly to run, to learn, to grow. And most of all, he's still that same introverted boy. The one who loved building. The one who believed the world could be more connected. Not perfect. Not without mistakes. But relentless. Focused. Human. Emotional closure. Mark Zuckerberg's story is not just about coding. It's not just about billion-dollar empires. It's about daring to dream. About risking everything for an idea. It's about falling, publicly, painfully, and still choosing to rise. In a world that's quick to cancel, quick to criticize, he chose to stay. To learn. To build again. And maybe that's the real legacy. Not the likes, the shares, the stock price. But the courage. To keep building. Even when the world is watching. So whatever you're building, a dream, a project, a future, remember his story. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. The world doesn't need more critics. It needs more builders. Be one of them.